Welcome, Kyle from Turf and Surfers. Follow us on Instagram, hashtag Turf and Surfers. We've got lots of metal detecting videos and lots of fishing videos coming up as well. So make sure you hit that subscribe and like button. Today we're going to be testing 3 different types of metal detectors. Now I should say 3 different classes because there's a very low end model, a medium end model, and a higher end model detector that are all going up against each other today. $60 price point, $200 price point, and right around a $550 price point. So you'll kind of be able to determine which metal detector is right for you. Now I want to, base this review on, depth and accuracy. So what I've done is kind of saved some of the things I found in the last week or so. We're going to be testing everything from bullets to silver coins to gold rings to aluminum cans, silver chains, and of course grenades. So let's get into it. All right, folks, so let's get the show on the road. As you can see, I have the coil flush with the end of this 2x4, and we also have a piece of 3D printed material with some clear Scotch packing tape. I don't have any metal buttons on this jacket. My hands are also free of any rings or jewelry. As you can see before the test, nothing's going to interfere with this, and I'm also using a 2x4 with inches measured out and drawn on the 2x4. That way we're not using a metal ruler that will interfere with the coil. So let's start off with some of the trash items that you will find using the quick shooter. We're going to start off with a pull tab or a pop tab, which you can find on a can of pop. Now let's kind of hold it flush and run it up to the coil. The setting on the head here is at maximum sensitivity. So it is sensing junk material. Now it only rings in at about 6 inches deep. The next thing is these pesky beer bottle caps. Now let's do the same test. As you can see, it's right about the 6-7 inch mark. Third, you'll find a lot of these rusty nails. And this is a smaller nail, and it's only hitting on this at about 5.5 inches. So what we all love to find are silver coins. This is a 90% silver quarter. As you can see, at about 5 inches, it's giving off some great readings. And 5 inches is about all you're going to get off this detector. Here is a war nickel. Do the same test. As you can see, it's giving off some positive tones, but depending on the depth, it's kind of erratic and all over the place. Now let's test some more modern day things like a zinc penny. That's ringing in at about 7 inches. As you can see, this detector is kind of going all over the place. Now we'll kind of go on to a 925 sterling silver bracelet. And that's giving off some great positive tones, but as you can see, this detector is kind of all over the place depending on the depth. And it looks like it's hitting about just about 7.5 inches. The next thing, a 10 karat gold ring. You'll probably find these from time to time. Negative tones, especially in that 7.5 inch mark. So it's not too terribly accurate the farther the depth is. We've got a 14 karat gold nugget ring here. Negative tones, 6 inch mark. Very negative tones all the way through. How about that? We've got some just pewter cross. Let's see what this rings in at. More negative tones. So as you can see, this metal detector is not very good, and you could be potentially going over a lot of stuff. Let's try the grenade. Pretty impressed here. This is a big chunk of steel, iron. And this thing's picking it up at about 8-9 inches. So it does find larger objects easier. Let's move on to the next detector. Okay, so up next is the Bounty Hunter Lone Star Pro, which is available at some of the big box retailer. As you can see, I've got the sensitivity turned up. Nothing's been notched out. It's basically the same settings as the quick shooter. So let's go through and test the pop tab. Now the bounty detector is ringing in at about 6-7 inches, same as the quick shooter, or nearly the same. A pop tab or a bottle cap. Reading in at a little bit deeper, just about 7.5 inches. As you can see, the detector is all over the place, which is nice. And we've got the nail. Let's try that. It's identifying the nail quite nicely. And we're looking at about the 7.5 inch range. So I'm seeing a little bit better depth and identification from the Bounty Hunter. We've got a bullet, and this is a lead bullet. Only ringing in at about 5 inches. Now it's kind of reading all over the board, as you can see. Let's test out the 90% silver quarter. And I actually found this 90% silver quarter with this detector. So, let's give it some nice tones. You definitely would know some sort of coin is down there. And it's only ringing in about 6.5 inches or so. Let's try the war nickel. So as you can see, it is kind of all over the board, but it's given a decent tone. And we're ringing in at about 7-8 inches on that as well. Let's try the, I guess, standard quarter of today, 2017. No problems. Not at all. A zinc penny. It's doing a pretty good job. At least a lot better job than the quick shooter. About 6 inches. The 925 sterling silver bracelet. Ooh, I like that. So it's reading about 7, maybe 7.5 inches, 8 inches. Definitely telling you something is down there. We'll go with the 10 karat gold ring, which will probably show up as foil, which is right here. Aluminum, interesting. As you can see, the conductivity kind of disappears at about 7.5, 8 inches, giving out some great tones. The conductivity is good. We'll try this 14 karat gold nugget ring. About 6 inches. It's hitting on foil and aluminum. Foil and 5-cent piece. So it's telling you something's there. And we got about a 6-inch depth on that one. And of course, let's try the other grenade. Actually, we'll try the same grenade just to maintain integrity of this test. We'll start this off way down here. This is picking up this grenade from about the 12-inch mark, which is pretty impressive. As you can see, it's pretty spot on with identifying it. Not that it's a grenade, but probably something you don't want to dig up. Okay, so we've got the Garrett AT Pro, and I actually had to turn down the sensitivity one notch because this is such a powerful machine. Now we've got the pop tab. Let's see what this thing rings in at. Notice how this thing is pretty consistent. Now the depth is off, and that might be because this is an air test. And it is very hard to tell the depth on anything anyways with any other metal detector. But it's close. We're getting a reading of about 9 inches. And you can see it's ringing in at about 8 inches here. And what I like about it is I'm looking at the screen and the control head, and it's ringing in a consistent target indication at a consistent number, no matter how far or how close you get. Next up, let's try the bottle cap. And this is in standard mode as well. As you can see, it's just everywhere. These bottle caps wreak havoc on these detectors. But as you can see, we're ringing in 11.5-inch depth on this. So that's very good, to say the least. Let's try the rusty nail. And I'm not sure. As you can see, it is picking it up. It's just kind of notched out. But it's still going crazy and identifying at about 8 inches on this. That's not bad. That's pretty good conductivity. We'll try the silver quarter. This is 90% silver quarter. Let's bring this one in. See where it'll start. Okay. Very nice rings. Nice and consistent readings. Little off on the depth. But it's hitting this thing at about 8 inches, which is really nice. Let's try the war nickel. Very consistent. I like it. Keep in mind, folks, I had to turn the sensitivity down one notch compared to the other ones because this is such a powerful machine. Lead bullet. As you can see, it kind of falls off pretty quick, but that's all right. We've got a 14 karat gold nugget ring. 8 inches is when it starts picking it up, and it's fairly consistent in the gold range, which I like. And the depth is pretty accurate too. So let's try the 10 karat gold ring. We're ringing in 10 inches. All pretty consistent in that gold belt, I'll call that. We'll try the 925 sterling silver. That seems to be picking it up even when I'm holding this away. Real nice tones. Looks like 8-9 inches is a good sweet spot. As you can see, it's ringing in nice and high. Ringing in nice and high. Telling you there's something down there. Last, we've got the grenade. Let's try this. And keep in mind, folks, this sensitivity turned on. Wow. Wow. It's way off this map. That's insane. It's even picking it up as I'm holding it. There's about a foot gap between, maybe a 1.5 foot gap between here, this hand here, and this hand here. So this thing is just insane. That's got to be at least 22 inches down. It's picking up objects like this. So that's pretty interesting. So there you have it. That's what you're gonna get when you pay a little bit extra for one of these. Whoa, that was a crazy review for you. So we've got significant results. I mean, did you see that? That crappy metal detector couldn't even discriminate hardly anything. It was jumpy all over the place. It really had a hard time, I guess, basically functioning. Now, this thing might be good if you are looking to find your lost ring in the grass. It will detect that there is something in the ground. Other than that, you're going to be digging lots and lots of nails and garbage, and it's just not going to be fun. It's going to ruin the experience for you by using that metal detector. Now, the Bounty Hunter Lone Star Pro did a significantly better job than the Quick Shooter. As you can see, it kind of still had some trouble discriminating against certain metals, etc., but it was able to pick up on some of the coins and gold and give some nice positive feedback. Yeah, it's a great metal detector if you're looking to get into the hobby and are trying to decide if this is something you might enjoy. Now, of course, the Garrett AT Pro just destroyed all the competition, and that's expected, especially when you're paying the price you do for that metal detector. The discrimination was pretty dang good. I mean, the conductivity it was reading, the whole depths, everything was pretty spot on. The only gripe I have is the depth perception, which is a problem for all metal detectors. At the end of the day, when you commit to dig a hole, an inch or two is not going to break your back. It really isn't. So that's not even really important to me. The important thing is that it was able to go out and do its job. So yeah, there you have it. There's 3 metal detectors at 3 price points. Garrett AT Pro wins with this contest. Kyle from Turf and Surfers, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like the channel, and leave me a comment. I want to know if this review helped you. We'll catch you on the flip side. We've got more metal detecting videos coming out. We've got more fishing videos coming out. We'll also do some scuba and some other interesting, cool things. So peace out. We'll see you on the flip side.